Okay, for our last section, we're going to talk about data entry. So, what I went ahead and did was I came in and I created a section that has data entry in it. Okay, and the data entry is all the ways we can enter the data. So what I did was instead of going in and entering all the ways, I went ahead and created all those ways already. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to present how we can see all the data that would be essentially preserved for our students. Okay, so that's what we're going to do next. Okay. Um, where we left off was on data sharing. So this is going to kind of go hand in hand with data sharing. Um, one thing that I want to kind of point out is when you're making some of your videos and when you're making your forms, it's nice to understand what it's going to look like on the other side. And that's the side that our end user is going to kind of see. So what they have is a thing called a view, a preview. And the preview will allow for you to kind of look at what it is that you're doing and kind of allow you to click through and see what's going on right here. I'm going to talk about this little clock thing in just a minute, but I thought I'd just go ahead and preview what we haven't seen already. Okay, so here's the forms that we're going to essentially be adding into our form, and this is going to be something that this is more about data collection, and we need to be thinking about the data so that we know we want to think about the data responses, I should say, so that we know what it looks like, and that way we can design the input to reflect the desired output. All right, so this is the output, kind of the middle area of the output. So if you were to think about this sort of streamlined, there's going to be when we enter it, then there's this middle area when the data user actually interacts and gives us an answer, and then an output end, the last, and that's what actually we get back from those users. Okay, and so that actual data, that's the juicy stuff. So these are the different outputs. So what I decided to do was sort of mirror it so that you can see what it looks like in creation mode and then see what it looks like on the other side. So this is actually the other side. So let's look at what the actual form would look like. So in my data entry, whenever we're entering this data, this right here is called a checkbox grid. So my checkbox grid has the rows. I can create a form. I can use menus on the form. I can send the forms. And then it has the columns that run across the top. Need more work, I can do this, but we'll stumble through it. I can do this in my sleep. So if I look at my form, I can create the form. This is the row. And then I need more work. I can do this. So which one are you on this? I can do this in my sleep. Okay, I checked that one. Okay. So that's how these set up. Okay. They're going to tell us just the information that the folks are using. Let's look at the next one. Okay. So on this one, I chose the multiple choice grid. All right, so the multiple choice grid, exactly the same thing, except the difference between a grid and a checkbox is, look, a grid, whenever I do it, it will only make one answer. Whereas a checkbox, you can have more than one answer in there. So that's interesting to know. You need to make sure that you're choosing either your checkbox or your grid with the desired output. So how do you want your student to answer? Do you want them to answer with more than one answer? Do you want them to answer with just only one answer? Okay, so the next type of input is called the drop down. Now let's see what the drop down looks like. I come down here, select what you think is best. Okay, so it's going to only allow me to select the one that I think is best. So I will start using forms for everything. That's the best. Okay, or whatever. I mean, it's just whichever one that you think it is, and that's whatever they think it is. Okay. So that looks like this. It's the drop down. You add in each one. This would be a great tool for an ELAR or type paragraph, read the paragraph, select the best answer type stuff, because the answer choices, you could select them. It could be straight out of a drop down, and you can put as many words as you need in there and keep it short, but that's a great tool for it. It can be used for so many reasons, so many different ways. The next one is that I would like to talk about is the file upload. Okay, so whenever I come into file upload, I just basically select it from our drop-down list, and then in here I'm going to select the different elements. This is kind of a very advanced feature. You're going to need to know a little bit about the types of files that you're going to be getting. You, by this point, should know that files come in different formats. Generally speaking, if it's an image, you're going to select an image, or a drawing. The images are going to be like PNG, JPEG, GIFs, that sort of thing. Drawings, these are going to be in another type of format. Presentation will be like a dot PPT or however it may be. Video, it's like an MP4 or something like that. PDF, dot PDF, it's a image basically. You have your spreadsheet. So basically what you can do is limit your data, limit the type of document that the person can upload. Believe me, this is super useful for students because maybe you only want them to upload an image or PDF, and then you limit it and they can't upload anything else. Okay, that kind of like constricts the data types, and that's very useful on the other end when we have like a certain amount of space to kind of think of. We don't want to be corrupting a bunch of audio and video files that could be pretty big. With that sort of thing. Number of files, you can tell them how many. If they're doing a photo shoot, you're going to probably need more than one. This probably isn't the best platform for that, but you could definitely ask them to take an image on their phone and then turn around and upload it. In fact, that's what we might be doing. Upload a kitchen table. Okay, there you go. And so you just take a picture of your phone, upload it right here, and then of the kitchen table, and then you're done. Okay, the megabytes, y'all could probably keep it to 10, or you can go 100, just for the fun of it. Once it's in, it's in. Let's see what this means. This is called the linear scale down here. The linear scale looks like this. It's one of the more likely or less likely. So will you use Google Forms now? I'm more likely to use them. Okay. And then the last but not least, I went ahead just for the fun of it. I put in a date stamp down at the bottom. I don't know if you know, but we need to spend at least an hour in this PD. Basically what happened at the beginning of this lesson, we started out, you entered in the start time whenever you started watching the video. And now you're ending, and it's time to enter that last bit of time right here. Hopefully we're all honest and we enter our correct amount of times so that we can get the correct amount of summer PD. What does that look like on the other end? It looks like one of these. Little clock right here. 3:33 p.m. Okay? So it ended, I can send me my own response back, just like the other video showed. Hit submit, and we are all filled out. Okay, so that's all about the data entry. We've already talked about what the data looks like in the spreadsheet and what the data looks like in the responses. And so now we have kind of a full view of everything there is with regards to Google Forms that you need to be successful. There are a couple of tools I did not go over today. I didn't talk about importing questions. These can be done if we were to say export and then pull in a form. We could import a form that's already in existence and not have to go through and fill out all the questions. And or that's what this is for. We can add new title descriptions. That first at the very top, that's what this kind of a view looks like. And then we can add an image if we just really want to make it look. This is more about presentation, and if you need an image, especially for folks that are kind of looking for descriptive and we're learning some vocabulary, images are great for that. What do you see in this picture type sort of thing? And then you could create different you can create different fields that have those questions inside of them. Okay. The last thing, and we've already talked about adding sections, so we already know how to do that. Then we have two last tools at the top. We have your customize the themes, which is going to allow us to essentially color coordinate our theme. So we make it blue, make it look pretty maybe. You can do some background looking colors, whatever you want. Font style, you can make it playful. You can make it decorative, basic, whatever you like. Those are a little bit frou-frou for me, but maybe y'all like them. Then you can go in and do different add-ons. I have quite a few here. You don't need to use these as much. This is kind of advanced, but you might need to do some, I can't think of the words right now, but it's possible that you'll need additional form interactions, and those would allow for that. So you can look up in Google Form add-ons, and you can see that there are a bunch of different add-ons that you can use. A choice eliminator is kind of nice for folks if you need that sort of thing. Form approvals. I've been experimenting to see if, whenever people fill out a form, that it sends that response and then you send back an approval response. So just there's a lot of different add-ons you can get, and those are going to be for the more advanced user. Once you start asking your questions like, how can I do a certain thing, most likely there is going to be some sort of add-on for that form. Okay, and that's pretty much it for forms. I hope this helps and that you guys enjoy making Google Forms in the future. Thank you so much. Have a good day.